Okay, everybody. So in our last video, we did our mock draft. And again, this is a mock draft, folks. We did our last video. It was picks 1 through 10. And in this video, it's going to be picks 11 through 21. So let's get it. I'm excited. Now, mind you, I am recording this, and it is November 29th at 11:24 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I know that this is going to get moved around. So this is just a fun video. I even call it my way too early edition. So we're going to go ahead and get it. We're going to go ahead and kick it off too with the Jacksonville Jaguars. But before I do so, shout out to my brother and co-host, Mr. Isaac Davidson. How you doing today, man?
Pretty good, man. I'm glad to be back.
And shout out to our brother Jason and his lovely wife. They had a beautiful baby boy today. So today is just it's a way better day than what we even got going on here in front of you. So we're just happy to be doing this for sure. All right, so let's go ahead. Let's get it. Jacksonville Jaguars. Trevor Lawrence going into year 3. Isaac, man, what do you think is important to this team, man? Do you think O-line, receiver, obviously not quarterback? I think Trevor Lawrence is starting to show improve. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, speaking of Trevor Lawrence showing improvement, I think it's starting to finally click for him. That game against the Ravens, that last drive, he looked finally like the Clemson Trevor Lawrence we've been waiting to see. I would like to see them give him more weapons, like a bona fide number one receiver to complement what they do have out there, with Etienne, Christian Kirk, and the guys. I personally would like to see them get a receiver or O-line help. You can never go wrong with O-line to protect him more. More so receiver is where I would be leaning if I'm them.
We're going to go ahead and let's rock with Quentin Johnson out of TCU. TCU currently right now, they are a top 5 team in college football, and Quentin Johnston is a huge part of that offense. So we're going to go ahead, boom, with the 11th pick off the board. Then we got 9 picks left here in this episode. We got the Pittsburgh Steelers, number 12 on the board. They got Kenny Pickett last year. They got Najee Harris, but he's getting smacked around back there. What do you say, O-line for this young man?
I think O-line would be good. I wouldn't be mad if they got another receiver as well. Anytime you got a young quarterback, you want to just surround him with as many weapons as possible, make his job easier. I think you can win with Kenny Pickett. He showed decent skills in last night's game against Indianapolis. They just traded away Claypool. I would like to see maybe another body there to complement Pickens, who I think is just going to be an absolute dog as he matures in the game. And you got Pat Freiermuth there at tight end, he's not no slouch. So, I would like to see them get another receiver or maybe some O-line help. Anytime you got a young quarterback, weapons, protection, and you can never go wrong with those.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Let's check out this young man, Kayshon Boutte. I don't know if I'm saying his last name. 6 foot tall, 205. LSU has been an absolute. I mean, they've been phenomenal this year. Had some tough losses, but absolutely. Let's see here. So Kayshon Boutte battling here. So here, be sure to go put it down below. Trying to find some stats on this young man, but we'll go ahead. We're going to go with Kayshon here. Kayshon Boutte going over to the Steel City, Pittsburgh. Then we got the Detroit Lions. Now, Detroit Lions, man, one of the highest scoring offenses in the whole NFL, but defensively, they are hurting so darn bad. I mean, just a lot of issues on defense, man, losing clutch games that they should be winning. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go Joey Porter Jr., cornerback on this one.
I like
Joey
that one.
Porter Jr., beefing up that defense. Probably the best corner in this draft. Sliding to number 13, Detroit. Let's go. Boom. And for the record, I'll scroll here at the top. I got Detroit either going with Bryce Young. It could be a CJ Stroud, or depending on how his pro day looks, even Hendon Hooker, who's he's my favorite in this draft. Then we got the Colts. The Colts. Isaac, what are your thoughts on the Colts? Interesting team this year.
First off, they've just skyrocketed to my second favorite team. If y'all know me, y'all know I'm a big advocate of Jim Irsay. So shouts to that man. Big Jimmy out there in Big Indy. For them, they're kind of one of those teams that I feel like they're a lot better than their record shows right now. That team has a lot of fight. They definitely need a quarterback. I don't know if there are. I, you're looking at Anthony Richardson, somebody that is electric, but I'm wondering if his game will translate to the next level consistently. Same with Will Levis. He's obviously got all the
Yeah.
got all the tools. He looks the part, first guy off the bus type vibes, but he also strikes me a bit Carson Wentz like in that he might have some adjustment issues at the next level. But at 14, I don't mind that value. I would say let's give Indianapolis Will Levis, quarterback out of Kentucky.
Ooh, you are reading my mind, Isaac. I like that pick. Will Levis. Man, I remember, Will Levis, man. He's accurate quarterback, makes good decisions, potentially a system quarterback, but that's not a dig on him. I think, and he has some really good athleticism too, man. So very exciting.
I think if he's somebody that if he gets into the right system, takes coaching well, watch out, man. You might have another, 2017 Carson Wentz or Josh Allen. See, he has that type of talent. But we'll see if it's all between the years.
One of my favorite things about Will Levis is that his pocket presence. He knows how to kind of control situations. Has had some tough losses this year, but Kentucky's a fun team to watch, and a big part of that is because of Will Levis himself and that defense. And I'll say this too before we move on to the Atlanta Falcons, Isaac. I wouldn't be surprised if these guys try to trade up in the top 10.
Easily could see that. They need a quarterback, and with an owner like Jim Irsay, he's going to want a quarterback sooner than later. So I 100% could see them going up and trying to get their guy.
Yeah, absolutely. Then we move on to the Atlanta Falcons. This is a scrappy team. They don't have I think they have a losing record. I want to say they're like 5-6 right now, but they're a scrappy team, and they've beat some pretty good teams too, and then they've lost to some bad teams, right? Very scrappy loss to the Commanders last week. Congrats to the Commanders.
They almost pulled it out. They got my respect.
Yeah, absolutely. What are your thoughts? Let's just kind of talk their QB situation for a minute.
Right. For them, like you said, they're very scrappy. They have pieces. And for their scheme, I think right now they're kind of forced to having to use the exotic, very similar like a San Fran run-oriented type game where they have just a committee, a triumvirate of three backs that are all just putting in work. You got Algiers, you got Cordero Patterson, and then I cannot remember the third guy's name, but he was putting in work too. And then, you have Mariota who can run, with the best of the other quarterbacks as well. But he's not the guy. I don't look at Mariota as the guy for the next 10 years at that team. Now, interesting dynamic with them picking right behind Indianapolis. I can definitely see a situation where they take the quarterback that Indianapolis doesn't take. I can easily see them falling in love with an Anthony Richardson out of Florida quarterback. I can see that. I think he would, for what they do, based on how I've watched them play this year and on Sunday against my own Commanders, I think what he does would bring a very explosive, that much more of an explosive element to that offense. And then, of course, if not, I definitely want to see them get more weapons. I would probably see if there's any, quarterbacks there. You already got your tight end and Kyle Pitts. You want to get another freakish athlete out on the receiver side to try to make defenses have to choose or pick their poison. So if they don't go receiver, I could definitely see them go quarterback.
One of my
vice versa.
One of my favorite receivers in this whole draft class is Cedric Tillman coming out of Tennessee. He's a major target for Hendon Hooker. He's used all the time in clutch moments. He could beat you deep. He could beat you in the slot. This is a young man I think is going to, because then they drafted their quarterback last year, right, in the third round, I believe it was, and it seems to maybe they're unsure on him. Rumor has it, right, but we'll see what it looks like, right. Cedric Tillman, I think, is a special talent, somebody who I could see getting in the Pro Bowl in years to come. We'll go have him come off the board, and then boom, welcome to the A. Then we got the Seattle Seahawks. Very exciting team. They recently fell down to 6-5, though, a little bit on a slide. But do you think they're sold on Geno Smith?
I think we'll have the answer concretely to that question at some point in the next month, I would say. Right now, he's playing a hell of a game. If he's not the guy in Seattle, he's definitely played himself into some money with somebody because people don't forget about who Geno Smith is. If you remember his West Virginia days, he was a dog. You know what I mean? So for him to be able to sit back and have people kind of toss him to the wayside, forget about him, and for him to have this rejuvenation of a career, that's awesome to see for those of us that grew up watching him and whatnot. So I wouldn't be surprised if I'm Seattle. Let's see if we can get a reasonable contract worked out with him. And let's assume in this case that they do decide that he is the guy. First off, they had a hell of a draft last year. Shout out to the Broncos who powered them with picks, and they hit on all of those picks.
Every single one.
Shout out to Tariq Woolen, who is an absolute freak of an athlete. What's it, Bofe or Mofe, the other
UTSA.
Guy. Yep, you know what I mean. They have a solid team. The pieces are there. For them, I'm looking at let's decide. Let's say if Geno is the guy. You got DK Metcalf, who is coming into his own now. I really like watching him play. You got Taylor Lockett, who's getting a little long in the tooth, but still a playmaker. So you kind of have an eye on that, in the future. But I cannot help but see the fact that the best edge rusher in college football is just sitting there somehow available at number 16. It's kind of hard to pass that up. I'm taking Will Anderson Jr. out of Alabama.
Okay,
the fact
Will
that
Anderson
he is
Jr.
still the fact that he's still available here, that's like Von Miller just available in the middle of your first round draft. Take that. You can't pass up that value.
That will make them a competitor. That's a guy I see him having. Will Anderson Jr. could literally have like an 8-sack rookie year.
He could easily elevate that defense. And then on top of that, it's trickle down. It's going to help the secondary. The linebackers behind him are going to be cleaning up shop. It's why he's there at this pick, I have no idea. In no universe or parallel universe do I ever see him being available at 16. But if he is, damn it, take him.
Yeah. Hey, every year it happens. There's gonna be people sliding, man. Injuries happen. People have crappy pro days. Stuff happens, but this is a guy. I mean, he's literally could be a top 5 pick. I could literally see him going number 4 over here to the Seattle Seahawks, right? So
when the draft comes, I 100% expect him to be in that top 5, barring something catastrophic. Heaven forbid.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
All right. But if he's there now, take him.
Exactly. Yeah. If he's there, man, it's like be the best player. It'd be stupid not to, right?
Yeah.
Then at number 17, and again, we're doing numbers 11 through 21, just as a reminder. And also as well, folks, I want to take a minute to tell everybody, please hit that subscribe button. Man, we're just a little under 1,600 subscribers, on our way to almost 700,000 views on the channel. Please be a part of Touchdown Nation. And if you want to take and become a member today, you can do that. Or if you just want to be a casual watcher, hit that subscribe button and click that little bell for the alerts. That does help the channel to grow. Moving on to, I'm going to call them the San Diego Chargers because I used to live there. LA Chargers at number 17. They got the injury bug, right? They got 2 great receivers, constant in and out injury. It's just, man, this team is a Super Bowl team already on paper, right? But when they're healthy, even when they're mildly healthy, the Chargers are a major issue, man. And they're really, really fun to watch. I think in a very competitive division where you're going up against the Kansas City Chiefs twice a year, you're going to take a need. And again, they have Joey Bosa on one side and they have another Khalil Mack on the other, right? But how great would it be? How great would it be if they added a linebacker to that? And there's a man by the name of Henry To'oto'o coming out of Alabama. Please forgive me if I butchered his name, but he's one of the most ferocious linebackers in this whole draft. Absolute beast, field general, field commander. I have him going. I have him going to Dago all day.
I like that. I like that pick. Okay.
And then we got the Patriots, the New England Patriots at 18.
Land of the chowder.
land of the chowder, land of the obnoxious white guys who. Let me stop. I'll go to a dark place. I lived there for a long time. I don't like New England like that, but some pretty parts, but sometimes the people aren't very pretty. Anywho, moving on to our pick, number 18, the Patriots. Scrappy team. My comments are almost similar to the Atlanta Falcons, right? But I feel like they're getting things clicking a little bit more on offense. Their backfield, I would say, is perfect. I love who they have back there. Obviously, there's some questions at quarterback, but I like their quarterback room. I think it's kind of a little healthy competition because the guy they drafted this year, he could potentially be the starter, and he got to take and start a few games, and he looked pretty dang good. But he is a backup, and let's just take and see what happens with that. So I'm gonna say no quarterback here. And I like their O-line. O-line is solid, but historically, Patriots get random ass picks. They get random picks in the first round. I get it wrong every year, and hey, I'm probably going to be wrong this year. What do you say, Isaac? You think they go O-line this year?
Conventional wisdom tells me that they will, but I feel like they'll just get a punter at this pick. No, I'm just kidding. But hold
on a sec. No, I'm just kidding.
I'm looking at this team, and I don't feel like they're that far off from like true contention again. I don't know how far Mac Jones. I don't know if he's the guy, but let's assume in this scenario that he is. On defense, I'm looking at that defense, and I'm looking at I see Christian Harris. He's done a good job with them. I kind of want to see them get another backer that will take that Dante Hightower role. And I'm looking at Trenton Simpson out of Clemson, another ferocious hitter, somebody who's going to make sure everybody is set in their situations. Knows he kind of reminds me cerebrally of Nakobe Dean of last year a lot.
Hybrid type.
Yeah, like somebody that is just such a student of the game. He's going to get everybody situated, and he's going to hit you in your mouth, and you're going to feel it for the next 3 weeks. So I like him bringing that aspect back to New England front seven. So I would go with him.
I like it. Yeah, Patriots, man. Say what you want about them, man, but they draft good and they draft smart. And in my humble opinion, I mean, even if you take Tom Brady out the equation, I mean, they're some of the smartest talent evaluators that I have ever seen of any NFL franchise. I mean, they do a really good job. It's been, since Brady's left, there's been some hiccups, but to see them kind of put things together this year, they could get scary at the right time this year is what I'm saying. Right. Then we got the Buccaneers, Ryan Jensen. Shout out to Ryan Jensen. Isaac, that was your old roommate.
Shouts to Ryan. He was the first roommate I had. He was our tenant, or he was our landlord at the Wolf Village or Wolf Lodge Village, I'm not remembering the name. Wolf Village there at CSUP. Shout out to him, man. That was summer of 11. It was one for the ages.
Yeah. Now there has been some injuries on that O-line. There's they lost Ryan Jensen, and then they lost one of the other O-lines. So I know with Brady, even though he's not the coach, but I feel like he always kind of has a say, kind of similar how the LeBron James is with certain trades and stuff. He'll at least have his hand in the hat to an extent, right? That being said, I have them going O-line. And who better than O'Cyrus Torrence, offensive guard coming from Florida? This guy is going to add a lot of depth to this team, and you got to take him. I mean, the way things are looking, Brady's probably going to, he's probably going to be around for a couple more years. So.
Right.
Boom. And then at number 20, Isaac, you're a Commanders fan. I won't even touch this one. I'll let you go, man. Number 20, the Washington Commanders take command, and they pick. Go ahead.
These haters can't stand us. Left hand up. Man. So with this team, I would say, looking at it, bird's eye view, one of the biggest needs we have right now is cornerback. And I think this defense is a shutdown cornerback away from really just being on that level of consistent, just the type of defense that can win you a game any week against any opponent. Shout out to Kendall Fuller, my Hokie. I always got love for my Hokies. Y'all know that. He's getting a little long in the tooth as well. Shout out to Brandon St. Juste. He, second year out of Minnesota, really coming into his own as a shutdown guy on the outside. I would really love to see, and I'm just looking at all these names; they're just so beautiful. But the fact that Khalil Ringo is still there out of Georgia, that's a no-brainer. That's like to borrow something from the NBA. It's a lottery pick right there. Guy is the true definition of a shutdown corner, as was witnessed in the national championship last season against Alabama. And he hasn't rested on his laurels this season. He's gotten even better. I've been watching him intently all year. Pause. And he's killing it, man. And his form. He's a technician. He's fast. He jumps and high points the ball better than most receivers. I feel you bring him into this defense. You got Chase Young coming back soon. You got them Bama boys in the middle with Duran and John, and then Sweat on the other side. Front seven's good to go. Now you let those guys get to work. You let Brandon St. Juste and Khalil Ringo mess with these receivers in the back end. Oh, that's a recipe for some fun football in Commanders. So I would definitely go with him. And if he's not there, I do like Cam Smith out of South Carolina as a close, like a 1A, 1AA. So
okay.
But of the two, Ringo out of Georgia, that's my guy. Love him.
Nice. Yeah, I got Ringo personally. He's probably the number 2 corner in this.
Yeah. There's no way he's going to be there, but if he is,
potentially, he could potentially be the number 1 if he has a strong pro day and all that stuff.
It's between him and Porter for sure. I mean, honestly, in this draft, if you need a cornerback, this is the draft to get him because it's deep in a lot of good corners, a lot of elite talent, a lot of mid-tier, solid, down the road will be solid starters for teams, and a lot of good depth too. So it's one of the positions that's really up there this year.
Absolutely. And as we wrap up the episode, the Baltimore Ravens are on the clock at number 21. Baltimore Ravens. Now with the Ravens, just talk on them, on paper, you got Lamar Jackson. They're going to work something out. They'd be so stupid to take and let that man walk, number 1. And number 2, again, not to go on a tangent, but Lamar Jackson, you look at Justin Fields and it's like, man, this dude, we don't even know if he could consistently throw for 220 yards a game. Not the case with Lamar Jackson. He could potentially, and God forbid he tears an ACL one day or something like that. He could potentially, have like literally a 12, 13, 14, 15-year NFL career and one day even bring a Super Bowl to that city, right? But I think they're trying to figure that stuff out. But I will say this. I do like the Baltimore Ravens picking up another receiver, man. What are your thoughts on that, Isaac?
I could definitely see that. Shout out to my friend Paul, diehard Ravens fan. If you ever are on Twitter, you'll see me interacting with him a lot. But he always says you can never go wrong with another weapon, can never go wrong with edge rushers, can never go wrong with D tackles. And that's something I've watched consistently over the years with the Ravens organization. They don't care about drafting for, specific need. They're going to get the guy they want, regardless of what anybody thinks of it. And they've had success because of it. For them, I'm looking at BJ over there, and I'm like, that screams Baltimore to me. I could also see them going Cam Smith, getting another corner. Don't
forget Jared Verse, man. I know he's banged up this year, but
that's that too. There's a lot of different.
Tommy Eichenberg is still on the board.
There's so much
Such a defensive draft.
But knowing how these Ravens usually go, I would not be surprised. I mean, you just went and got Kyle Hamilton out of Notre Dame last year, who's shown to be a dog. Oh man, Ojulari, you're there.
I would say Ojulari. Let's do Ojulari.
I think Ojulari, man, because that pick screams Baltimore to me. That screams an Eric DeCosta pick to me.
Boom.
100%. Let's do it.
It is. And there we have it, folks. Now, next episode, I'll be dropping that probably within the next week. Hit that subscribe button, okay? We're going to take and do picks 22 through 31. We're going to finish off the series, and then we're going to restart another series because what else is there better to do, right? But mock drafting is something we do on this channel. We cover the whole NFL, so y'all be sure to go and hit that subscribe button. If you would disagree with me or Isaac or even agree with us, comment down below. Let me know your thoughts. Did we pick who you wanted? Do you think we could have went something better? Maybe we should have went the opposite side of the ball. Comment down below and let's chop it up, man. All right.
But watch your tone.
And watch your tone. Watch your tone and watch your mouth, or else I'm gonna send you a bar of soap.
Yep.
And also as well, Isaac, thank you for coming on the show, man. Please follow Isaac at a good guy Ike _18. You're far more interesting than I am on Twitter, but I'm on there from time to time. So, or sometimes our ratchetness, we just be having fun on Twitter, man. So if you want to correspond with us, chop it up with us, go follow us. Follow me at TouchdownDoug. And you guys have a blessed night. God bless you. Always remember that Jesus loves you and he is the way. And I'll catch y'all next time on the Touchdown with Doug Smith. And in the meantime, I'm going to hit y'all with the dopest, livest outro you ever heard in your life. Here we go.
Touchdown with Doug Smith, celebrate, that's a new move. Heisman, 2 views, catch him on YouTube. NFL coverage, interviews, new news, who win, who lose, comedy, you choose. It's not about moolah, the QB's like Tua is missing in action. No L's on my shooter, play it like Marino, it's a gamble like casino. Hungry for it, but you know we still gon' try to feed the people. Rivalries will lead the conference, Cowboys are the Eagles. Will Belichick be a threat, better check. Tomlin on deck, much respect to the vet. What to expect? Gotta tune in for the rest. Make sure to sub, like, check. At the best, bad boy, the sports podcast for the threat across the north, east, south, in the west. Sitting back clueless, time to tune in. Now another sports center.